G'day viewers, aussiebede from Newcastle, Australia. Now today we're going to look at the sales of silver coins to work out if there is a high demand for them. Okay, and the best way we're going to do that, for starters, is to look at the Perth Mint and their previous sales on their coins, and particularly we're going to look at the 1 ounce coins. We're only going to do 3 series on the sales of these $1 1 ounce bullion coins from the Perth Mint. So the last one is the Kangaroo. In 2009, the Mint sold the 1 ounce bullion silver Koala coin, 2009, and it was mint to order, so unlimited mintage, and they sold a whopping 336,757 coins. 2010, the Australian 1 ounce bullion silver Koala coin, they had a unlimited mintage, so mint to order. They sold 233,531. I mean, this gives you a rough idea of the demand in 2010 and 2011 onward. So as we scroll down, we'll find the next one is 2011. It's the 1 ounce bullion silver Koala coin. Ladies and gentlemen, mint to order. They sold a whopping 910,480 coins. So the demand in 2011 skyrocketed. 2012, the 1 ounce bullion silver Koala coin, mint to order, so unlimited order, they sold 388,046 coins. The next one, ladies and gentlemen, was in 2013, the Australian Koala, still in the Australian Koala series, and it was mint to order, and they sold 477,209 coins. Okie doke. So that was the Koala coins up until 2014. And the next one, which is 2014, it's still the Koala series, and the mintage was mint to order, so unlimited mintage. And 2014 they sold 334,884 coins. So ladies and gentlemen, from this you can see that, the coin sales are slowly increasing. The next one was 2015. In the Koala series of the $1 coin, the $1 silver coin, 150,899 coins. The next one, ladies and gentlemen, 2016. Again, it's the 1 ounce bullion silver Koala coin. And they had a maximum mintage on this coin of only 300,000 coins, and it sold out. So we continue to 2017. Again, the 1 ounce bullion silver Koala coin, ladies and gentlemen. Again, they had a mintage of 300,000, sold 298,937 coins. They nearly made their quota. So still a good demand. So the next one, ladies and gentlemen, is the 2018. And they had a mintage of 300,000 coins. They only sold 166,434 coins. So that's a big drop. Just over half the mintage. And we continue on, ladies and gentlemen, till we get to 2019. A 300,000 mintage figure, and they sold 149,810, just under half of the coins that were minted sold in 2019. So there's a big drop. Then again, ladies and gentlemen, we'll come to the Koala series still. 2020. the 1 ounce bullion silver koala coin. They had a mintage top of a maximum mintage of 300,000 coins. Ladies and gentlemen, they sold 222,450 coins. So they still didn't meet their maximum mintage. 2021, the Koala series again, they had a maximum figure of 300,000 coins and they only sold 176,334 coins. So ladies and gentlemen, from this you can see that the demand actually diminished towards the 20s onwards to 2022. Okie doke, well, we'll continue the series in a moment. Thank you. We've done the Koala series and the records only go up to 2022. We're back with the Australian Kookaburra series. It's the silver bullion coin, $1 coins. So 1992 is where we start, ladies and gentlemen. What we're trying to do is determine the demand for silver coins, and there's no better way to work that out if not by sales figures. The Australian Kookaburra $1 1 ounce bullion coin series 1992. They had a mintage figure of 300,000 and they sold 219,694 coins. So they never met the mintage figure. We're with the Kookaburra series, ladies and gentlemen. So this is 1993, 1 ounce bullion Kookaburra $1 coin. They had a mintage figure of 300,000 and ladies and gentlemen, they only sold 190,581 coins. Okie doke, the next one, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take from 1994. Again, it's the Kookaburra series, $1 1 ounce coins. They had a mintage figure, 300,000, and they only sold 174,561 coins. Still, ladies and gentlemen, they're not making their mintage figures. They're not selling all their coins. And this is way back in 1995. So it's the Kookaburra again. 300,000 coins, ladies and gentlemen, and they only sold 154,247 coins, well below the 300,000 that they minted. 1996, they had a mintage figure of 300,000, and ladies and gentlemen, the bullion Kookaburra 1996 only sold 170,105 coins. The next one, 1997, had a mintage figure of 300,000 and they only sold 159,497 coins. Just under half of the mintage figure that they minted to sell, and they didn't sell. 1998, it's the silver bullion Kookaburra coin, and again, ladies and gentlemen, they had 300,000 coins minted, but ladies and gentlemen, they only sold 103,119 coins. What a dismal year that was for them. Very good for collectors though, because the coins will be quite rare. The Australian Kookaburra series, the $1 1 ounce coin, is the 1999. And ladies and gentlemen, they had a 300,000 coin limit on that one, and it only sold 109,364 coins. The next one, ladies and gentlemen, is the year 2000, the year of the Australian Olympics. The Australian Kookaburra 1 ounce silver coin, ladies and gentlemen, they had 300,000 coins, and ladies and gentlemen, again, they only sold 104,169 coins. In the beginning of the 2000s, mintage figures were high, but sales were low. So ladies and gentlemen, 2001, still in the Kookaburra series, the 1 ounce $1 coin, silver coin. They had 300,000, ladies and gentlemen, and there's a bit of a boost at 169,265 coins sold. Next one, ladies and gentlemen, is 2002. The same series with the Kookaburra, 300,000. And ladies and gentlemen, they only sold 91,604 coins from a pool of 300,000 coins. The next one, ladies and gentlemen, 2003. Still the Kookaburra series, the 1 ounce $1 Kookaburra silver coin. Ladies and gentlemen, they had 300,000 again minted, and ladies and gentlemen, they only sold 109,439 coins. So ladies and gentlemen, we'll continue on just to give you a reference of the demand for silver bullion coins over the years. And here we go, it's still the same series, ladies and gentlemen. It's the bullion Kookaburra coin. Again, ladies and gentlemen, 2004, 300,000 coins minted, and ladies and gentlemen, they only sold 84,455 coins. So that's not a very good sales year for them, but a very good year for the collectors, making it a very rare coin indeed at 84,455 coins. 2005, ladies and gentlemen, still in the same series, the bullion Kookaburra. It's 300,000 coins, ladies and gentlemen, and they only sold 95,145 coins. 2007, 1 ounce bullion Kookaburra $1 silver coins. They sold, the mintage was 300,000, and ladies and gentlemen, they had a good boost in this year and sold 213,436 coins. The next one, ladies and gentlemen, 2008, still the Kookaburra series, 1 ounce $1 coin. Ladies and gentlemen, they had 300,000 coins minted and they sold out. So that was a good year for the mint in 2008. The next one, ladies and gentlemen, 2009. They are the $1 1 ounce bullion Kookaburra $1 silver coin. They had 300,000, ladies and gentlemen, and again they sold out. So as you can see, towards the late 2000s going on to 2010, they had a very good sale. And again, ladies and gentlemen, in 2010 they sold out. 300,000 minted and they sold out. So towards the late 2000s to on to 2010, they had a very good sellout year, the last 3 of the years. So we're going to move on, ladies and gentlemen, to 2011. And the Australian Kookaburra series again, 1 ounce silver coins. And ladies and gentlemen, they had a mintage of 500,000 coins and they sold out. So a very good year in 2011 for the 1 ounce Kookaburra coin. And we move on to 2012. Ladies and gentlemen, still the Kookaburra series. Ladies and gentlemen, they had 500,000 coins minted and they sold out again. So ladies and gentlemen, you can see here, after the year 2010, the investors really stepped up. 2013, ladies and gentlemen, 500,000 minted, sold out. 2014, the Australian Kookaburra series, 1 ounce silver coin, 500,000 minted, and they sold out. 2015, ladies and gentlemen, the same series, it's the 1 ounce bullion Kookaburra coin, and they had a mintage of 500,000 and they sold out. So ladies and gentlemen, you can see that silver investors have really stepped up after 2010. Next one, 2016. That's the Kookaburra series, 1 ounce, $1 coin, 500,000 minted, sold out. This one, 2017. Kookaburra series, 1 ounce, $1 coin, 500,000 minted, and ladies and gentlemen, they had a bit of a shortfall with 406,265 sold. In 2018, they had 500,000 minted, and ladies and gentlemen, they had a dismal sale of 246,740 coins sold. So towards 2020, there seems to be a fade away from sales. Their sales aren't as good. We'll move on to the 2019, the Australian Kookaburra. It's still the 1 ounce, $1 Kookaburra series. And ladies and gentlemen, they had a 500,000 mintage, and they only sold 219,660 coins. The next one, ladies and gentlemen, is 2020. They had a mintage of 500,000, sold 375,914 coins. So the next one, 2021. It's the Kookaburra series, 1 ounce, $1 silver coin. They had a mintage of 500,000, and again, ladies and gentlemen, they only sold 266,679 coins. In 2022, the 1 ounce Kookaburra coin had a mintage of 500,000, and they sold out. So it's really hard to understand investors. They're very, very fickle. Okay, so that's the Kookaburra series. So we've done the Kuala series and the Kookaburra series, and we can only ascertain that really the demand is fickle. It doesn't seem to make sense. So, but there is a sign that investing in silver coins has grown. So demand has grown. We're only going to do 3 series on the sales of these $1, 1 ounce bullion coins from the Perth Mint. So the last one is the Kangaroo. We're going to do the Australian Red Kangaroo silver bullion coin. The only figures we have is from 2015 to 2022. So in 2015, the Red Kangaroo 1 ounce silver bullion coin had a mintage of 300,000 coins, and ladies and gentlemen, they sold out. So we'll move on as quick as we can. 2016 Red Australian Kangaroo looks like they've sold 11,245,615 coins. Now that is massive. That is a massive amount of coins. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2017, the Red Kangaroo 1 ounce silver bullion coin sold 5,178,016 coins. So ladies and gentlemen, you can see that the Red Kangaroo was just a popular coin. It sold a massive amount. In 2018, they had unlimited coinage, which paid off. They sold in 2018 in the Kangaroo series 4,395,517 coins. So we'll go 2019, the Red Kangaroo 1 ounce silver bullion coin sold 5,650,501 coins. These are massive figures. 2020, same series, the Red Kangaroo 1 ounce silver bullion coin, $1 bullion coin, had an unlimited mintage and sold 13,169,939 coins. In 2021, the same kangaroo, the Red Kangaroo series, sold 11,735,419 coins. And then in 2022, to finish off the only documentation that we have at the moment, the 2022 Red Kangaroo 1 ounce 99.90% silver bullion coin, which is the $1 coin with an unlimited figure, sold 15,236,555 coins. The Perth Mint had a very good run from 2015 to 2022 on their kangaroo coins. They sold a very large amount. So, ladies and gentlemen, as far as demand goes, it has risen from 2015 to 2022. From the lowest being in 2018, they had 4,395,517, to 2022 they had a massive of 15,236,555 coins sold. So this series was a massive success for the Perth Mint. Really, it puts a nail in the coffin of those that say that Australian silver coins are not popular, because obviously they are, especially the Kangaroo series. And when you look at the figures of the other coins, they are all very high. So to the Perth Mint, well, we say congratulations, guys. You've done a really good job and given us information to prove our point that silver in Australia is in high demand. Okie doke. Righto. Good on you, mate. Aussiebede from Newcastle, Australia. See ya.